Right, FYI, this meeting will be and is being recorded. And so because we don't have a quorum, we can't have an official meeting today. And so today's meeting will essentially be informational, so updates, check-ins, things of that nature. Based off our last meeting, the conversation today was mainly going to be about our project. And so what I would love to do is hear about where you all based off where you are at based off your research. And if you all have any questions as well, that Amy and I can answer. DeAndre, did you have your hand up? All right. Um, Jacob, Sky, Yoselin, and Kenna, let me know what you think. What is on your minds? What is the process or update for your research? And let me know if you have any questions.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I was in the group with like the housing concerns
Mm-hmm.
and like with regards to like public relations.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I found like through like a lot of my research was basically like it's a lot of like how do I put it? Like wording issues.
It's
And
a
there's
lot of what issues?
like wording issues as far as like connotation goes with like low barrier, high barrier housing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that we could probably like put something out as far as research goes with like low barrier and high barrier housing, but making sure it's formed in a way where it's inclusive and no one feels left out, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then to like to start that, I wanted to like kind of, I know we can't vote on it today, but like I wanted to kind of form like a survey for maybe everybody to like email to like their school or something to answer based on if they know about the housing issues, how they feel about it, how they felt like things have been worded, and then using that information to formulate something more with the positive connotation and making it seem more of like the systematic issue it is rather than individual fault, if that makes sense.
Okay. Everybody else, what's your thoughts?
Um, I do know that because of student government, we went to one of the monthly conferences for the associations of student government. And Javier, the president, he attends the Board of Governors meetings. And they had statistics on the housing availability of each university. So I can try to find that and send that if that would be a good resource to have. And it just like a graph that shows what house, like how many housings are taken within a campus and how many are available.
Okay, I think I'm confused then.
Okay.
So are we like so for the housing issues, these are for like housing on campuses, or is it like a homeless thing? Because that's what I was looking at. So I don't know. Yeah.
So research should be, just to frame this, the research should be based on how this affects you all as college students, right? And so some students are some students live off campus, some students live on campus, right? And so how do you include all individuals when it comes to the different aspects of housing that students occupy, right? So we don't want to just look at it from the standpoint of on campus because not every student lives on campus. And then we also don't want to look at it from the standpoint of students who only live outside of campus because not all students live outside of campus. So there is going to be some overlapping research that goes into your project. And so when you're looking at housing for the state of North Carolina, specifically the city of Winston-Salem, that affects students because there's going to be students that occupy housing that are outside of the means of being on campus. And so that's why there's going to be a lot of overlapping things. Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So just to reaffirm that your work and how you're looking at it is going to, it may look different at times, but that work is going to be overlapping because you're encompassing students generally. Anybody else? Right now you are discussing housing, so.
Should that be the same for the community outreach or the community organization committee, where we focus more on off-campus housing, or also connect with our like colleges and the housing?
I'll say something and I'll also give Amy the floor as well. This is gonna be my recommendation. See what the, when it comes to community outreach, see what their research is, see where their research is leading them. So what I mean by that is that the work that they do, see who it's affecting broadly and see how do I explain this? See how that concerns students who go to different universities, right? And so let's say the work is oftentimes dealing with people from um, let's say the work is oftentimes dealing with outside sources when it comes to, they work with the community when it comes to people with families. Well, we know that college students, some of them have families, right? And so this is off campus things that are dealing with families, but some of those families can be in college students. So you're allowing the professionals to give you information and you use that information to see who that disproportionately affects. I know that that can be kind of confusing, but that's, I hope that makes sense to the best of my ability. Amy, you have any thoughts?
I'm just going to say it as kind as I can. I don't know if I followed that, Colbert.
Okay.
I might need you to say, clarify when you say they do research, who they is.
Okay.
Right? Like, are you talking about like on campus, they as in residence life, or they as in community organizations? I don't, when you say they, that was too journalistic for me to, I don't know who they was in your response.
Yeah, since Jacob was talking about like community outreach organizations, that's who the they is referring to. But more specifically, the they would refer to whoever you all work with, whatever organization that you all are working with, that would be the they. So what are they doing? Who does the work that the who is the work that they're doing targeting, and how can you use that information to assist you on information and how it affects different students who occupy different universities? I hope that makes sense.
So Jacob, I know you were saying, so are we supposed to be talking to our different campuses or to those community organizations? You know, engaging with those community organizations to hear the research and the demographics where their focus is going to be important. But as you reference your college campuses on a high level, they are doing research and they're digging in to their student populations. They know the percentage that live on campus. They know those that are not living on campus. Sometimes they know where they are, and sometimes they don't. There are homeless students that are enrolled in college, but where are they residing is a question mark. So it could be interesting to talk with some of your leadership at on your campuses to find out what have you all done to learn about your student population and their residential and their housing needs, and try to blend them together, because there are times where campuses will lean on those community organizations to get the research of the local area. So you could find some different and very varying information from the different campuses that you all represent as well, for the populations that campus serves. So you all might get some interesting information by talking to the campuses beyond just the community organization.
I do have a question. Do you believe there'll be any, I guess, restriction of giving that information out from the universities?
Well, they would just be talking in more generalistic words for you. They're not going to say Jacob is X, right? They will be able, they can share, because most campuses, this is information that is shared out when they have to go through They're different audits, if you will. So they have information about their student populations that aren't always out there. And there's other campuses, being a public university, there are things that have to be made public. So if they're just telling you about certain demographics of the campus and residential, that is not them sharing any information that would be protected, if you will. They will not be able to tell you specifics, if that makes sense.
Sky, you had something? I saw you come off mute earlier.
It was really just for like clarification of like what we're actually like targeting. So are we researching like how like housing insecurity affects like the different parts of Winston, like regarding its students, or that's where I'm just a little confused because I do like what are we pinpointing here?
I hear you. Give me a second. Trying to see what you all said.
She talking about for housing cap?
Yeah, so she's trying to figure out, well, you're trying to figure out both, right, Sky? Just wanted to double check. Or housing.
Just housing, yeah.
Okay, housing. Go ahead, DeAndre.
I was gonna say, yeah, mainly just pinpointing students and how it affects students. Because when we first did, I don't think Sky was here, but when me, Jacob, I think it was who else? Luke, when we did the housing, the doc a while back before break, that was mainly what was on the doc. I can send her the doc. I still have the Google Doc.
Okay.
That would be great.
That would be super beneficial. And then Yoselin, I haven't heard from you on either, so I do want you all's input. Ideas.
May I ask, hey DeAndre, when you share that out, if you could share that with that information sharing, it'd be good for potentially everyone, because it seems that there's other questions. So instead of just to Sky, getting it to everybody, especially some that aren't able to attend this, so making sure everyone has same information to be going on. That'd be great.
Okay.
Another question I had is for the final presentation in front of City Council, are we going to focus more on the statistics or not solutions, but possible opportunities that students might have? Should we show that to the student or the City Council as well?
So what I would say to that is a decision that you all can make as far as obviously we can't make it now with the vote, but that's something that I would highly recommend you all talk through about how you all would like to focus your project on. And so that would also give Yoselin an idea when she's creating the document and putting the information together, how the document should be shaped and what it should be targeting. So for example, last year we had a general gist of information, we gave statistics, but then the end of it was more so a call to action as far as what the city council members can do, right? And so how you all frame that document is going to be influenced by what you all want to communicate. And that's a decision that you all will come together and make. Amy, do you have any thoughts? Okay, just making sure. A lot of these questions, I'm going to push it right back on you all because I want my influence and my opinion to be as least as possible. I want this to be student driven by you all, so you all can come up with a framework. Now, if you have questions as far as like what strategy I think would be best or what a strategy Amy thinks would be best, we can definitely assist you with that. But we want you all to lead the efforts in regards to framing this project when it comes to presenting to the city council. Hannah, Yoselin, do you all have anything, including you, DeAndre? Do you have anything?
As far as the housing cap or PR?
As far as what you've researched, because today, if we had an official forum today, we were going to discuss in length about what you all researched and what you all worked on, separately. So just like collectively, I do want to hear you all's thoughts about what you all have been researching and then given the opportunity to ask Amy and I any questions as far as assistance goes.
I've been working on well, right now I've reached out to my PR team and just waiting on everyone to correlate on the schedule for them. Let me go to my notes because I wrote some of them down. What's up? Yeah, okay, my fault. So I'm just waiting for everyone schedule to kind of correlate the meeting, um, so we can talk about. I have started strategizing on my own and strategizing, assisting and how to work on the best way to work on an annual project with government affairs. Um, so yeah, I've been strategizing some some ways to go about assisting on the annual project.
Okay. And so you said that you're trying to figure out a time to meet with your team. Is there like anything that's in the way? Is this just people's schedules in the way?
Yeah, I think it's just I think it's mainly schedules. I'm waiting to hear back for some, but yeah, I think it's mainly just schedules. Um, I'm gonna reach out again today after this meeting.
Okay, that makes sense. Hannah, Yoselin, any thoughts, opinions?
Sorry, I was trying to find my mic. No, I'm just trying to follow along right now. Because I think we're trying to determine a lot
Mm-hmm.
and kind of sort things out. And for me, that's pretty important to go along with because it was some stuff that I was kind of trying to figure out as well.
Okay. Scott?
Um, Again, like I'll preface by saying, like, I know we can't vote on anything right now, but I thought it would be a good idea. Like I mentioned the survey before, but like if we can, I think our next meeting is in like 2 weeks, so hopefully we'll have like, the voting numbers by then. But doing the survey thing where we could send it out to like maybe like our individual campuses for like that aspect of things so that we can get like actual student input, because I think that's really important as far as this, because what we're really doing is researching to get information out, not really coming up with a plan of action, but so people know. And I think it's important to figure out what people don't know, and then we can go from there as far as like our final presentation to city council and what they can do to help make people more knowledgeable, if that makes sense.
I like that idea.
I do as well. Has the survey been created yet, or
I have a rough draft of it, and I don't know if I'm like, would I be allowed to send that out for people just to look at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I still don't have access to Teams, so I don't know like if I could like send it to the email that we have to the like a reply all thing.
Yep, you could do that.
Okay, sounds good. I'll send that out by tomorrow then, because I have the draft. I just have to tweak it a little bit.
Okay. Amy?
So I'm just going, I need to say this because when we send emails to all, and if people start to respond back, that is technically business being operated and not just information sharing. So I shared this, Sky, if you could send that to me and Colbert, we then can send out to to everybody with them blind copied. So that way everyone's receiving it in an informational way where business is not, people aren't going to reply all and start getting business talking. But if we get it out there as information sharing, that means people will hopefully then be prepared for our next meeting to then be able to come to have a business conversation about that to make decisions. But if you send it out for everyone to reply all, we create the opportunity for them to create business conversation without having it in a formal quorum way. Does that make sense?
Yes, that sounds good.
Great. Perfect. Thank you.
But I think that's a great idea to send it out now so that all the members can look at it and write notes or feedback of things we might want to change or things we really like. And then by next meeting, we can just approve that and then send it out to our universities.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll have it to either Amy or Colbert by tomorrow.
Okay. Any other thoughts, any other questions, any ways we can assist you all in this process? I will say, Jacob, we didn't, obviously, we're going to also vote on the community service projects opportunities that you wrote. Most likely that's going to be for the next meeting. My recommendation would be in the meantime, see what their availability is within the month of March. And so as we vote on which one to pick, we can also have a time and a day so that we can get that rolling too.
And I was thinking, would it be okay if I just emailed every organization and just asked if there was any general information they could give? And then maybe the vote for the next meeting could be that we invite someone from one of those organizations to come to the meeting to give more in-depth feedback.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
So Jacob, similar to what we were just saying with Sky and the development of the rough draft of the survey. So if you have that information prior to the meeting, it could be something that you'd send to Colbert and myself, and we could get it out in advance. So that way people, again, can be prepared with the organization, information about them and what the opportunity would be. So that way, again, pre-reading. So when you all come, prepared for questions with one another and then to be able to go and vote. So that information sharing can go out in advance, so the preparedness for the meeting comes along, if that makes sense, right? So if you have the information in advance of the meeting, so that just allows people time to comprehend, process it, because it can be a lot of information to share in one setting for then the vote to happen. So if you can share information and we send it in a way where people aren't engaging in the reply all, we would be able to give that in advance.
Okay, great. Then yeah, I'll email them this week and hopefully they'll respond before or ample time before our next meeting, and then I'll send that to you guys.
And if you need help, Jacob, as you already know, please let me know. I can help you in any way as well. So please let me know. Does anybody else have any additional thoughts, questions? Anything they're confused about that they would like clarity on now as well? Okay. Maybe you have anything before we head out? Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
So we also have the other side of this project, which is harm reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still moving forward with that, or I know we were planning to combine the two for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And harm reduction might just mean the people or how the housing in Winston-Salem and the universities are affecting certain students and people. Is that the main focus of the harm reduction for this project?
Is anybody here on the harm reduction team? Make sure we pull it into harm reduction. Go ahead, not yet. Yoslin and Kenna, you're on the, yep, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, I think Yoslin and I are, and what I was thinking earlier with the like housing and everything is kind of how housing can influence it, especially with access to everything. But also just how possibly if we clarify what our direction with that is, we might be able to also clarify our direction with harm reduction, if that makes sense. Because I think there's a lot of directions that we can go in. My immediate thought is like access to supplies and like counseling and that kind of thing. But obviously, if we're going towards housing and our like other part of it, and they're kind of cohorts, I want to make sure that they're cohesive. And I think probably Jocelyn feels the same way. So if we can have some direction and maybe think on that together, or maybe you guys can give me some feedback, that would be helpful.
I think that's a great opportunity for the survey, actually, to ask students what opportunities they have, what resources they have, what they would like, or what they need from the universities, and that could definitely be a big part of the harm reduction side.
Can you repeat that one more time? Just like the possible survey questions that you just
Oh,
said, like the opportunities they have.
yeah, what resources they might have on campus, and also what they need as well, from their campuses that they're not receiving.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. So DeAndre has already shared that they're still waiting to be able to find time for the schedule to have their committee meeting. Have you all as a committee met as a unit with everyone, or has there not been a time to meet yet?
We haven't had a time to meet yet. No.
Okay. Has there been any communication to try to get that time set, or has that not been an item taken yet, a move taken yet?
I think we're working on it. Yeah. I've been trying to reach out, but it's kind of hard to make the schedules work. Sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that's a process that is moving forward, because I think when everyone gets together as a unit, those are the types of questions that need to be boiled up and tackled at the front and then brought then to the meeting.
Should housing do the same for that? Because I feel right now we've been working in the smaller committees, like community outreach and government affairs. But do you believe like we should also hold a meeting for that?
So as in those three individual areas, I think that's important, but we have those that are interested in focusing on housing and those that are interested in focusing on harm reduction. Those entities, those groups should meet so that way everything, so the three committees, as well as the focus on housing and the focus on harm reduction, when we come back to meetings, we can all share as a unit. So everything starts to, right now we're hearing these questions like, how are we connecting everything together? And that's where the entity of meeting at those larger groups and then being able to come together to share outputs of what you've gathered, so that way business then can happen in a quorum setting. Does that make sense, Jacob? I don't want that to be even more confusing. I apologize.
No, yes, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
And to reiterate something we said last time, because our team is 10, you all cannot have more than 5 people meet. And so as you all are discussing when to meet, please ensure that there's no more than 5 people at each meeting, right? And so these meetings, because it's no more than 5 people, you all can meet and discuss whatever you want. Obviously, when it comes to decision making, this is what the meetings will be for when we have quorum to make decisions. But as Amy said, when we split it up in 2, the purpose of it was that you all would create group chats, put us in it, and then discuss what you all need to discuss. And then you all can meet outside of meeting time so that when you came to meeting times, if you had refined questions based off what the group was discussing, you all can ask them, we can make decisions, things of that nature. And so I'm going to reiterate that the minutes as they go out, please review them and understand that like the minutes are also an organized document, an organized and official document where you all can go back to and get answers and questions and things of that nature. And the last thing I'm going to reiterate is that the more prepared you all are outside of this meeting, is going to make this meeting a lot easier. And so I understand that this can feel a lot. This is why I always reiterate that me and Amy are here because I will meet with anybody at any time as long as I'm free for the most part, which I am, especially when it comes to you all, to help you and assist you with this stuff, right? One of the things I even talked to DeAndre about, if his team met and they needed me to assist, I can come, ask questions, be a part of the meeting, brainstorm with them, whatever the case is. And so I want to reiterate that our services are here and open to assist you all on this journey, and that you all don't have to do this by yourselves. You all know that if you text me, I'm very responsive, especially when it's coming to work hours. And so please, please, please lean on me, lean on Amy, and let us know how we can help. Because at the end of the day, this has to be student led, which is why oftentimes when you all ask me about my opinion, I put it back to you all, because I don't want my opinion to influence how you all shape this project. Does anybody have any questions, any thoughts? One thing I will say is prior to the meeting in 2 weeks, which I believe will be on March 2nd. Yes, March 2nd, I strongly recommend that you all meet sometime, whether it's with your committee groups or your, the housing or harm reduction team. Communicate. I understand that everybody has a life. I really want to reiterate that. Not only are you all in school, everybody has something personal going on. Some of you all work. Everybody has things that they have to do with school. So try to be as responsive as possible. And again, if you need assistance, even if you need me to sit down with you for an hour or two to help you research, I can do that. And so I really want to offer my services as much as possible, because when we come into the meeting on March 2nd, we expect that things are moving forward and progressing. So if I'm not hearing from you all, I check in here and there. But if I'm not hearing from you all, I just expect that everything is going well, because I that's all I can do, Amy and I. So if you all have any questions, text me, text Amy, email us, anything of that nature. Does anybody have any questions, any additional questions, any thoughts, any advice for your teammates?
I have a question, Colbert.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. Have you all taken into consideration about your spring break that is coming up? Will that hinder meetings or what have you?
My understanding for the month of March, before you all answer, is that our March meeting is March 2nd and March 16th. And so as you all think about that question, Iris just asked, does that affect anybody's spring break? Will anybody not be able to attend?
I'll be fine. Our break is from the 6th to the 15th, so.
Okay. That's Sky, Yoslin, and Kenna. Okay. Jacob is good. DeAndre is good.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. I do want to say that your meeting presentation day, mark this on your calendars, is going to be on Monday, April 13th at 4 p.m. Not 5 p.m., 4 p.m. That's going to be your presentation day. And so that's when you all will stand in front of the city council members and present the project and your findings. So you all have about 2 months before your project needs to be presented. And so Monday, April 13th at 4 p.m. and not 5 p.m. I want to reiterate that as well. It's 4 p.m. Correct, Amy? 4? Yeah, 4 p.m. Also, what I'll do this week is schedule meetings with you all personally, and just check how you all feel, where you all are at. So yeah, I'll do that this week.
You have our schedules,
Mhm.
right? Okay, just make sure.
Mhm. Yep. That's why I make sure I have you all do them individually, because it makes it easier for me to look. Anybody have any last minute things before we head out? Amy, do you have anything as well? Amy doesn't have anything. I don't have anything. Nobody has anything. All right, well, again, let us know if you need any help. Since it's not an official meeting, we're not gonna adjourn anything. But I hope you all have a good Monday, have a good week. Let us know if you need anything, and everybody will be hearing from you. Have a good one, y'all.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.